Hey everyone, Ray Sawville, raysawville.com, and today's video I'm going to be taking you through Google Tag Manager. Google Tag Manager can be a little daunting if you've never been in the platform before or if you've never used it. And what Google does is they kind of simplify the process of installing pixels. So in today's video I'm going to take you through the Google Tag Manager interface, how to install the Google Analytics pixel, and then how to install the Facebook pixel as well. So that's the purpose of today's video. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. Thanks. This is the Google Tag Manager sign-up page. So the first thing you're going to want to do is sign up for a Google Tag Manager account. And for those of you that have never used Google Tag Manager before, it allows you to have one container that's placed on your site, and then you can edit and update your pixels, your events, your triggers, all sorts of things within Google Tag Manager directly in one easy to use online platform. So it kind of cuts a step between you and like a web dev, allowing you to place one pixel on the site and then being able to change and place pixels on the site very easily. So the first step you're going to want to do is just go to the Google Tag Manager website, and here's the site up here, which will be down below in the description, or you can just Google Tag Manager and you'll find it. But you'll want to make sure you click start for free, and then it'll take you through an account sign-up process, which is pretty straightforward to do. Then what'll happen is you'll get something that looks something like this. It'll take you through a couple of prompts to make sure that you have the pixel installed correctly on your website. So this Google Tag Manager container is placed on your website. And what you guys can see here is a preview of my website. And you can see if you preview with the Google Tag Assistant Chrome extension that the Google Tag Manager container is placed on the site. And then within that container, there's a Google Analytics pixel and a Google Ads Remarketing tag pixel as well. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get this actual container installed and configured on your site. And it's really easy to do. The first step in order to do that, and Google Tag Manager will prompt you right away if you're within the account, but if you lost that prompt, or if you're not there, what you can do is just click on admin here, and then go to install Google Tag Manager, which is right here. So click on that, and then it's going to say, paste this code, it's high on the website, yada, yada, yada. Great. For those of you that are on WordPress, I'm going to show you how to install the pixel, which is really straightforward. For those of you that are working with a developer, this is the information that you can send to them, and then they'll be able to get it installed. Perfect. But for those of you that are working in WordPress, let's head over there. I'm going to copy this code here that we're going to be placing in the header. And what I have here is a plugin called Insert Headers and Footers, and there's probably 10 or 15 plugins you can use here, guys. There's an official Google Tag Manager plugin, but I've had some issues with that in the past. So for now, I'm just using a simple Insert Headers and Footers plugin that allows you to input headers and footers into the WordPress theme. It's an easier way to do it than going in the back end, going into the template and all that jazz. So if you just Google for Insert Headers and Footers, and I'll show you. So if you go there, I'm sorry, and then if you look for Insert Headers and Footers, you'll see it's this plugin right here. It's got over 1 million installations. So this is the one I typically use. And like I said, there's one for Tag Manager as well if you just search for Google Tag Manager. So you can use this one too. So both work great. I just always used Insert Headers and Footers. So if you have that installed, you can click on Settings and then click on Insert Headers and Footers. Take this code from the admin section that we just were at, and then paste it into the header. So you can just paste that code here, and then once you do that and you save it, the actual container will be placed on your website. So now what you've gone ahead and done is you've placed the Google Tag Manager container on your site, and now you can take just a variety of pixels and place it within that container and allow it to start firing correctly. So it's a pretty straightforward process. It's not crazy. And then once that's done, you can start creating triggers and tags and all that sort of stuff within Google Tag Manager. So the first thing you're going to want to do after getting Tag Manager on the site, and in almost every instance, is you're going to want to install some sort of analytics software on there. And typically that's going to be either Google or Adobe Analytics. but I'm going to be taking you through Google Analytics. So now you're going to want to go over to Google Analytics and go to the admin section as well to get the tracking info. So in the property column here, this middle column, you're going to see a tracking info column. And all you're going to really need for the GTM Google Tag Manager portion is your UA code. So this tracking ID here. The reason why it's really nice with Google Tag Manager is because it allows you, because Google obviously owns Tag Manager and Analytics, it makes the implementation pretty seamless and pretty simple. So before we do that, what you're going to see here in the dashboard is you have all these different tabs. The main ones we're going to be working with for this basic video, and we'll cover more advanced ones down the line, are the tags and the triggers section here. So think of a tag as the pixel that you're placing on your site. So that's like the what, that's what you're placing on your site. And then the trigger is like the condition that needs to be met in order for your pixel to fire. So in most instances, it's just going to be like a page trigger, and there's a bunch more you can do down the line. But most of the triggers you're going to do are going to be like, hey, on all the pages of my website, fire this trigger. Or hey, only on the thank you pages, fire the trigger, fire my tag. So it's a pretty simple implementation, but let me take you through that. So you can see here, it's all pages. So I have this Google Analytics universal tag, but let's just go through it again from scratch. So what you can do is go to Google Tag Manager, click on Tags, and then go to New. And then you're going to want to label this tag so you can easily see what it is down the line. Labeling is very nice for anybody working in here. Sometimes it's just a cluster of a mess, and nobody likes working on that, let's be honest. So if you just do Google Analytics UA, you can do that. And then if you click on Tag Configuration, you're going to see all of these different options here. So it takes you all the way from analytics to ads to Google Marketing Platform, formerly DSP, some conversion linker optimize, some survey stuff, and then you can even do some custom HTML. And then Google Tag Manager also has all of these other additional implementations that are not Google specific. So if you're looking to track other things, you can do that. And surprisingly, Facebook isn't in here. I guess Google and Facebook might have some beef. But what you can do is go to the Google Analytics Universal Analytics section, click on that, and then Google's only going to ask you for your UA. So I've already had it linked here, so you're not going to see it. But if you just want a page view to fire, so every time the page view happens, you want your Google Analytics variable to fire, and yours is probably going to be blank here to start. But I'm sorry, I'm kind of going a little fast here, but I already have a variable set up. So you're going to want to make a new variable for this tag to reference. And the variable is just going to be your tracking ID that is copied from Google Analytics. So all you have to do is copy your UA code, place it here, and then you're going to call it Google Analytics variable. And I've already done that. So you'll see over here, I already have a variable set up for Google Analytics settings where I have that UA code pasted in. So now when you go back to your tag, you're going to notice that you have the track type for page view, the setting for Google Analytics settings for your custom variable with that UA code in there, and then the advanced settings you can leave for now. There are some use case scenarios here where you're going to want to make sure that one tag fires before the other, but for now, let's just leave it default and get it on the site. So that's step one. After that, you need to select a trigger. Once you scroll down to the bottom here, click on this, and then it's going to be blank by default, and you're going to want to make sure that it fires on all pages. So what we're telling Google Tag Manager is, hey Google, fire this variable on all pages. My phone just went off when I said, hey Google, but it did it again. But you want to make sure that you're selecting all pages for your variable here. And that means that Google Analytics is going to fire every single time your page loads. So like every single page where the container is found, which is what we want for Google Analytics. And then you're going to want to finalize that and click Save in the upper right. And I'm not going to save because I already have this pixel set up on my site, but you're going to want to save that. And now you're going to have the Google Analytics universal code placed on your site. Pretty straightforward. I just made sure to break that down into a bunch of steps for everybody. So that's how you install Google Analytics. One thing I haven't mentioned is you're going to want to make sure you submit and publish your container when you're done. Otherwise, all the changes that you made in here are going to be unpublished and not live. So if you click submit on here on the upper right, you can add a descriptive name, and we can call this Google Analytics code post, and then you can publish it, and it's going to go live on your site. So now that I got this tag on my site, you're going to see when I go back over here, refresh the page, and re-record with Google Tag Assistant, which again, the information for this Chrome extension will be down below. Of course, the Google Ads remarketing tag is not working right now because I changed some things, but ignore that one for now. Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager are working, which is exactly what we want. And then if we go over to Analytics in the real-time view, we can see that someone is browsing the website from Wisconsin on my raw view. So I have a filter view where I'm excluding my IP, but right now, someone from Waukesha, Wisconsin, me, is viewing the website. So we know that the tracking is working okay. All right, so that's how you install Google Analytics. Now I'm going to take you through the Facebook pixel, which is still pretty simple to set up now that we have Google Tag Manager installed on the site. So if you head on over to your business manager, and that's just business.facebook.com, you're going to notice that you have a menu over here, and one of the options is pixels. You're going to want to go to that section and then open this up in Event Manager. It doesn't really matter how you guys get here. The main place you're going to want to end up, because I know a lot of people have issues with Facebook, you're going to want to end up in Events Manager regardless, because once you get there, that's how you install and configure the pixel. So I have a pixel that I created here, and if you do not have a pixel created, there's a bunch of other tutorials on the web. But if you just go to Data Sources Pixels and then click Add, you can make a pixel from scratch. There's a little bit more to it than that, but not a ton. But I'm assuming that you have a pixel for this video. Let me know if you have questions on it in the comments below. But you're going to want to end up in Events Manager to make sure you can set up and install your pixel. So here's my Facebook pixel that I want to place on my website. And there's a couple ways to do this. My favorite way and the easiest way that I found is just go to Setup in the upper right up here. Go to Install Pixel. And then I like to manually install the pixel. You can do it through an integration. I like to install it manually. Grab this code right here, which is the base code of the pixel. Head back over to Google Tag Manager. I'm hoping you guys can see how easy this is now that we don't have to reach out to a web dev, we can just do it ourselves really quick. Go to New. We want to label this Facebook Pixel. And then because Facebook doesn't have a custom integration here, we're going to want to click on Custom HTML, paste in this HTML from Facebook that was provided to us into Tag Manager, and then also have this trigger on all pages. So just a quick refresher, we created a new tag. Here's the configuration. We have an existing trigger for it to fire on all pages. So now that we have that set up, we can click Save, and we're done. Like it's literally that easy once we publish, and we can test it out to make sure it's working. So again, labeling is kind. It's a necessity. Don't be that guy or gal who's not doing this, or someone might get really upset with you. But Facebook pixel posted, and these are just some of the best practices. So you're going to have a much better time if you're labeling, as I mentioned. So now I pasted that pixel on my site. I can refresh. There's another Chrome extension called Facebook Pixel Helper, and I probably need to refresh with a hard refresh here real quick. And now you can see my Facebook Pixel Helper is firing, and if you click on that, here's my pixel ID, here's exactly what I just pasted, and now I'm tracking everybody who's coming to my website, and I can target them with remarketing audiences, build a ton of audiences off of it. Can do some custom events down the line, which I'll have a follow-up video to down the line. But now that we have the bare bones stuff complete, I like to also turn on advanced matching to make sure that we're matching email, gender, all this sort of stuff that's hash data that allows us to target our ads a little bit better. And then you can target the test traffic to make sure that Facebook is also registering activity on the site, which we just tested it ourselves. I would be surprised if it said it's not receiving activity. Let's pray to Mark Zuckerberg and hope that it works. And look at that, right? When I did that, it worked. Great. So now we can continue and we're done. We're going to go through this video and this tool, which is really cool down the line. But for now, we're going to kind of ignore this advice and we're tracking people on Facebook that are going to our site. And that's it. I know that's a lot of information there, but at the end of the day, Google Tag Manager is going to allow you as a marketer to really place pixels on websites much more efficiently, as opposed to reaching out to developer and having that lag or wait time in there. It just allows you to control everything that's placed on the site. Now, if you don't know what you're doing 100%, you can mess things up, but if you follow a tutorial or if you're reaching out to the right people, the world is your oyster, my friends. So if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. I'm more than happy to help out. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.